Hello and welcome everybody. We appreciate you attending our webinar today. Today we want to talk with you about our digital assistant capabilities. In particular, we have a digital assistant that we've created for COVID and screening employees, but then we'll talk a little bit more broadly about other digital assistant capabilities that we have for HR related applications and other applications throughout your business. So let's get started. All right, so wanted to introduce the people that will be presenting today. First of all, Arpan. Arpan, do you want to unmute yourself and give a little on your background, please?
Yeah, sure. Good afternoon and good morning, everyone. I'm Arpan Makwana, and I'm heading the innovation practice for Osys globally. And I take personal interest into applications like Chatbot or digital assistants, advanced analytics, RPA. And I try to help customers to make their life easy and help them operate in a better way using these cutting-edge technologies. Thank you.
And my name is Lila Ravi, and I am responsible for pre-sales in the US for HCM. Previously, I ran the Center of Excellence for Cloud HCM at Oracle. I've also worked with numerous Fortune 100 customers on rescuing troubled projects, overseeing HR technology solutions, and so long history of experience with HR solutions. A little bit about Osys. We are a global organization. You can see our statistics across the bottom here, that we have over 1,000 cloud customers. We are in over 30 countries, and you can see some of that on the map here. But all regions of the world are represented by our consulting services. We have over 1,200 experienced professionals, so we can provide a lot of strength and depth to any projects that you might have. And we also do a number of different areas of capability with Oracle and beyond Oracle. So not only HR, but finance, manufacturing, supply chain, CRM, we can accommodate a lot of different projects that you might have. So to talk more specifically about COVID, the concerns right now as people are starting to return to the workplace is ensuring the safety of the employees, ensuring the safety of the workplace, and making sure that employees feel comfortable that their employer is providing the best possibilities for a safe workplace and not contracting the virus while they're at work. So some of the things that an employer would want to be doing is certainly to clean and sanitize the workplace, setting up operations to ensure that we are keeping things clean and limiting the spread of germs, social distancing so that seating arrangements might be changed, some of the setup around workplaces might be changed to provide more protection. So doing some additional steps to help ensure the limiting of any germ spreading between employees. But then finally, and what we're here to talk about today, is actually being able to screen employees and visitors. So on a daily basis, we want to know that anybody coming into the workplace is not likely to spread any germs. And so having some type of a screening process is going to help you to do that and help to demonstrate that as an employer, you're doing the best possible to protect your employees. So employers want everybody to participate. Anybody coming into the workplace, we want to know we've done that screening and we've confirmed that this person is acceptable to be in the workplace on that day. Employees, though, are going to want something quick and easy to use. They're not going to want to have to spend a lot of time each day getting screened or confirming that they're healthy. So that's where we've created a solution that we think is quick and easy and will allow you to make sure that you're getting the information and that you're able to track and demonstrate that you are checking your employees and making sure you know that everybody in the workplace is healthy. So we think it's less than 45 seconds, probably about 30 seconds in order to complete the screening process. OSHA is the governmental agency that oversees safety in the workplace. For those who may not be familiar with OSHA, Occupational Safety and Health Administration. And so they have certain record-keeping requirements. Those employers that are of a size that they qualify for OSHA requirements would be mandated to maintain OSHA logs on work-related injuries and illnesses. And so COVID-19 would be a recordable illness if a worker was infected as part of performing their normal job duties. So it is important if you have employees that contract COVID that we're tracking and capturing that if you are eligible for OSHA reporting. Longer term, so right now everybody's returning to the workplace. We're seeing some states where infections are going down, others where there's been a bit of a rise. And so there's kind of the question, what happens longer term? Where are we going to be at in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months? And there's probably going to be differences post-pandemic as to how the workplace and how employees operate in regards to business. We expect that there will be permanent reconfiguration of workspaces, that it's just going to be good practice to make sure there's less opportunity to spread germs when you're in an employer workspace. We also think that while it's important to do the daily screenings right now, even longer term, there's probably going to be a benefit. There may be more requirements to do regular screening. And so you may want to have a process that not only helps you through the current situation, but longer term allows you to continue to check in and understand how your employees are doing and how healthy your workplace is. And then just also noting that travel may become something that's more rare longer term. It may be that there's more remote work, more web meetings, webinars, as opposed to flying places, traveling places for your work. All right, I'm going to transfer things over to Arpan so that he can give you a demonstration of our COVID digital assistant.
Great, thank you. Let me just quickly share my screen. So what I'm doing is I've connected my iPad with the screen so that I can share my screen on the iPad. And the digital assistant that we've created is using the iOS device, so people can directly look at, fill up their screening questions or report an incident directly from the mobile device itself, from iOS. So that's what is going to happen. So let me just share my screen just a minute. Is it visible now?
No, we are not able to see your screen yet. Oh, now we can. Thank you.
Okay, great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to invoke Siri, and we are going to go through the demo that way. COVID assistant.
Hey, John, I'm your COVID assistant. What would you like to do today?
I'd like to report an incident, please.
Please state the incident probable safety hazard in detail so that we can look into it.
I've noticed that people are not wearing a mask in the office.
Thanks, John. We will look into it and get back to you.
Okay.
Okay.
So, that's a very quick way to report an incident. Now, when we look at a daily screening kind of a thing, then I'll show you the other option. COVID assistant.
Hey, John, I'm your COVID assistant. What would you like to do today?
Screening.
Please answer a few health-related questions for us to ensure a safe work environment. Are you experiencing any of the below nil or worsening symptoms of COVID? Do you have cough?
No.
Shortness of breath or difficulty in breathing?
No.
Do you have a headache?
No.
Do you have sore throat?
No.
Fever of 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit or higher in last 48 hours?
No.
Any recent contact with a person diagnosed with COVID?
Yes, maybe.
Thanks, John. We've recorded your responses. Have a nice day at work.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, this gives a quick way to record all the responses, and these responses can go back into your HR application or your documents of record, and this works as your repository. So everyday employees can go through the screening very quickly, and then the records can be taken care of by the executives or HR employees. Over to you, Laila.
Thank you, Arpan. I think I need to be made presenter again. There we go. All right. Hopefully everybody's seeing my screen again. I apologize, having a little bit of technical challenges today. So just a little bit more. I'm sorry?
We can see the screen.
So oh, you can see my screen. Okay, very good. So our COVID assistant, we've created an application that allows you to interact with your employees or your visitors. So know that what you saw can be tailored if there's specific questions you'd like to ask or the ways that you'd like to phrase them, if you'd like it to be bilingual or multilingual. So we can work with you to tailor this application to however you would like to conduct your screenings. While we are showing it with Oracle Cloud, you don't have to have Oracle Cloud HR in order to use this assistant. So with Oracle, we can connect it to either the HR or the health and safety module. But if you're using some other HR system, we can work with you as well, and we can connect our assistant to whatever HR application you might have. Also notice on the right side here, there's a variety of different methods through which you can interact with the digital assistant. So Arpan demonstrated utilizing Siri. You could also utilize Alexa, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp. We have here. So any type of messaging application that you prefer to use or might be your corporate standard, we're most likely going to be able to utilize it with a digital assistant. So rather flexible in the different methods through which we can work with a digital assistant. So digital assistants for HR. So let's talk a little more broadly now. We looked at COVID. Now let's look more broadly throughout HR where you might use digital assistants. Think about what activities might be better if they could be conducted 24/7. So if an employee works a second or a third shift, or they're in a different country and time zone, and they had an immediate means of getting answers to questions, wouldn't that be a better way to support your employees? Okay, let's, there we go, okay. What if also, if there's something that is higher volume, you get a lot of frequent questions, having a way to respond more quickly, respond at higher volumes, that would be another great reason for using a digital assistant. And having consistency. So a digital assistant, we define what the answers are, and we can make sure that policies, procedures, information are being consistently provided, a consistent answer as opposed to different answers based on who might be answering the question. That certainly helps when it comes to things like policies in an organization. And so that's what our digital assistant provides. So while we're talking about HCM or HR type applications today, know that these can be relevant across the various applications and business functions throughout your organization. Oops, and now it went a little too fast on me. All right, we also can do it for a variety of roles. So an employee role is one that you might commonly think of. Also for managers, there are coaching opportunities. Managers might have questions on how to do things. And so a digital assistant can be tailored for the types of things that a manager needs to do and support them in their various activities. You might have senior management that's looking for high-level information and wants to be quickly provided with either reports or just information about particular activities. And so we can create them specific for senior executives or even a particular person at a senior level. So there's a variety of different ways in which you might utilize digital assistants throughout your organization. And again, the channel doesn't matter to us. Whatever your preference is, we can work with that channel to make it effective. So our recommendations, if you aren't using any kind of digital assistant today, how would you get started? How do you start to introduce this to your organization? Well, with the current situation, we think COVID screening is an excellent way to get started with digital assistants. And in fact, we have an opportunity where we're providing a 3-month license. So if you just want to try it out for COVID screening, get comfortable with it, see if there's more uses, we would recommend COVID screening as an excellent way to get started with digital assistants. But if you feel like you're ready for more, we can provide a more full-functioning digital assistant or chatbot for all of HR self-service and addressing all the different types of employee and manager self-service functions that you would typically expect with an HR application. Likewise, we've created digital assistants for management reporting so that managers can very easily get the analysis or the types of information that they're looking for on how various functions in the organization are performing. And finally, you can take it enterprise-wide. So it doesn't have to just be HR. We have here supply chain, finance, but if there's an area where you could use this type of an application, we can certainly help you with building it out. All right, so we have another demo, and I've been having a few technical challenges here, so give me a moment and let's see if we can make this happen. All right, this does appear to be, I assume you can see my screen, so we are now showing, okay. This is the digital assistant showing management reporting. And you can see that the digital assistant is offering options, so they can just select from the list that's available. And here we have nice graphics and analysis that's being displayed based on the questions that were being asked by the manager. So there's really no limitation to what the digital assistants can do. It's more a matter of determining what would be relevant in your organization and what might be helpful to you. All right, I think we're pretty much played out there. So here's something we call HCM Buddy. Again, you can tell us what name you'd like to have for the digital assistant. As far as the options, we can define what those are with you, the responses, all of this can be custom tailored to what's relevant in your application. And in this case, we're asking some questions around annual leave. The employee wants to know if they can apply for annual leave, and they're being shown their leave balance. Now here on this one, this is just for a student who's going to a university and maybe they're trying to decide what they want to take courses in, what kind of major they want. And so you can see it doesn't have to be specific to, say, some business application. Anywhere that you need to interact with customers, large volumes of people, and you want to have more automated means of interacting with them, the digital assistant will support you in doing that. So here you can see asking about a degree in economics, and it's showing you the choices there. And then if they want to study law, what choices they might have for that. So just a variety of different capabilities that the digital assistant has. And again, noticing that we don't have any limitations. If you've got a messenger platform that you prefer, we can work with that platform. Arpan, do you have a better management demo that you would like to do?
Yeah, I think the management reporting demo that you showed, which shows the graph, I think that's a pretty good demo to show. What I would also want to add up here is, as Laila rightly mentioned, so we want to make sure in a remote working environment, especially in these days, so we want to give people ease of use, and they should be able to do all the activities themselves without having to open up multiple applications, right? So let's say if I am a manager of a department, I would have activities where I need to approve leaves, I need to approve timesheets, which is HR related activity, and I also need to approve purchase orders, which is more like finance related activity. So I don't need to log into multiple applications when it comes to using a digital assistant. So from a common window, I can just type or speak over saying how many POs are pending for approval, and it will show me the list. I can say approve all or reject, or I can say I need more information, or I can approve few of them based on what I feel are correct. So it becomes easy for the management as well to use multiple applications in an environment. And from the employee's perspective, it also helps them to focus more on their business rather than creating these kind of transactions. So whether it is raising leave requests or raising expenses requests, so or even filling up timesheet or inquiring anything about the new policies about work from home, what softwares are required, what are the policies related to COVID. So all this information can be easily accessed through a chatbot or a digital assistant. So providing a digital assistant to the end users will really help, because it doesn't give you monotonous answers. It is context sensitive, based on the roles and responsibilities or based on my historical conversation, it can easily understand what I mean if I am mistyping something, or it will pop up my favorite reports, for example. So it is context sensitive. So it has a machine learning kind of an algorithm running at the back end, which makes the overall experience of a digital assistant pretty smooth. So that's where, so we are saying that it has become a necessity for most of the organizations to simplify their infrastructure and make sure that information goes to right set of people in the right way. So we've done a lot of implementations in public sector as well as in the private sector organizations in variety of different institutes. So yeah, we've been able to help organizations to really achieve the digital transformation that they're looking for.
Thanks, Arpan. And yeah, that's an excellent point, that when you start to build out the digital assistant and you provide a common platform so that employees or customers become comfortable with, this is the place I go to when I need answers on a variety of different subjects and topics, but they know they've got a place they can go. And it's been shown that there's continued growing acceptance of messaging or texting as a means of interacting. A growing percentage of people prefer texting or messaging to live voice conversations. So it's very common and acceptable, and in many cases preferable. And so with a digital assistant, to the person on the other end, there isn't necessarily a recognition that they're interacting with a computer. You also have the ability, if at a certain point the interaction has become beyond the place where the digital assistant can provide the answers, you can then route that message to a person who can then pick up the conversation where it's beyond what's provided through the digital assistant. So a lot of capabilities there.
Right, and that's an excellent example. So Laila, just I wanted to share one more use case with you and with everyone who has joined. So we've actually helped one of the call centers to reduce their call volumes by automating all the queries, whether it is about the supplies, whether it is about when will my consignment come in, or what are the problems. So we've automated or reduced the overall call center volume by a significant number. So people have started using digital assistant in a call center environment. So as we've started, this on the remote working environment, so there was a huge impact on the customer support or the call centers. So in such case, having a digital assistant really helped them to answer to all the queries without having the customers to wait for a long time, because there was a very small staff who was supporting the call centers. So this is another example, as Laila rightly mentioned. So we can route all the queries or all the calls right to the chatbot or the digital assistant to take care of them.
Yeah, that's another great point. And I've seen studies that have shown a reduction of up to 60% of call center volume when digital assistants are implemented. So tremendous savings can be achieved on existing call centers by implementation of digital assistants. So you can just see on the screen that these are some examples of potential use cases, places where it might make sense to utilize a digital assistant. Certainly COVID-19, great opportunity to do check-ins of employees or potentially visitors. Standard policies and procedures. How many times do we need to answer the vacation policy question? Why not have it in a digital assistant, and it's easily answered for the employee in a very timely manner? Managers need help with how to complete performance reviews, giving them coaching and advice, and helping them with how to complete transactions if they need to hire somebody, transfer. Likewise, giving them reminders so that they're doing the right things for their employees, congratulating an employee on a promotion, acknowledging a birthday or an anniversary, all great opportunities that can easily be accomplished with a digital assistant. So there's lots of great ways that these can be used. Another really good example, onboarding. So you've got a new hire, they've got all sorts of questions, they want to know how to get through things, and the digital assistant can answer all those questions very quickly, prevent that new hire from becoming frustrated, and help to ensure a smooth onboarding process for that new hire. But plenty of different opportunities. These are just some examples to get your minds going and thinking about the potential of digital assistance. All right, so that was what we had prepared, but we think some of you got to have a lot of questions at this point, or maybe some thoughts on what you might want to use them for. So I think at this point we can open up the line. So if anybody has questions, feel free to put them out there, and we'd love to talk with you more about what we can do with these digital assistants.
So we've got one question here. It's about how do we make sure that this works in our environment, and before subscribing, can we get something to work in our environment? So I would say we can definitely offer a free POC. So we can load up few policies or questions which are coming from your organization, and we can show it to how it looks like. And once you've got the confidence, then we can roll it out and you can start subscribing to the service. So yeah, if anyone is interested in getting a free POC, we'll be more than happy to do that. If you've got any questions, you can type in the chat window and we can get those questions answered.
Yeah, and if you don't like asking questions on a webinar, if you'd like to talk with us one-on-one, we're certainly happy to do that as well. So where you register for the webinar, you should be able to log a message and let us know if you'd like further information, or if you'd like to schedule a meeting to talk more about your specific needs or requirements. We'd love to talk with you more about what we could do for you with digital assistance too.
Yeah, I've got another question here talking about the integration with systems. So yeah, I would say it's literally platform independent. So you may have Microsoft, SAP, Oracle, or any other backend applications, or even a homegrown kind of an application that you have in the environment. So it can integrate with a wide range of applications, and it can also help you to reduce the overall workload, as you've seen here. So right from the call center applications to the backend applications like your IT help desk or your ticketing system, even your HR finance applications or customer facing applications. So if you've got a CRM or a recruitment system, we can easily integrate it with these systems and get the digital assistant working. So there is no limitation to the kind of integrations that you can do with the backend applications. So it basically helps you to get a new interface, an easy to use interface, rather than having people to log into an application or download something on their mobile. So yeah, I would say there are wide applications that it can integrate to answer the question.
Yeah, and certainly recruiting is a great area for utilizing a digital assistant when you have so many people applying for jobs, and the number one complaint from people applying for jobs is nobody gets back to them. They have no idea what's going on. They don't know was their application received. Anybody look at it? So a digital assistant, you can very quickly and easily respond, reach out to some of these candidates. It's a great place to use them.
So we've got a few more questions. One other question is, how long does it usually take to set this up? And will there be support to help review HR finance processes and integrate? Yes, absolutely. So that's the kind of knowledge that we will get on the table. So because we've implemented HR finance applications throughout the globe, so that gives us good experience working with the backend applications. So we can definitely tell you what are the best practices when you implement a chatbot like this, and also review your HR or finance processes. So yeah, we can very well do that. And to answer the question about how long does it take, we would say it purely depends on the number of use cases or the type of applications that you want to set up with. Let's say, as an example, if you just talk about HR and finance application, then it can take few weeks to set it up. And it's a very quick thing, because we are not going to create anything new in the chatbot. It's basically a new interface that people will get. and all the queries will be going back to the HR and finance applications to get them answered. So the implementation is really very quick. And as I said, you can have multiple channels opened up. For example, your self-service HR can work through Siri, can work through Facebook Messenger, and through WhatsApp at a time. So people have multiple choices or multiple ways to interact with your backend applications. So I would say it depends on the number of applications that you want to integrate to, the number of channels that you want to open up, and the number of processes that you want to open up. So these are, these will play an important factor in judging how long it would take. But yeah, based on my experience, the way we've implemented solutions, it takes few weeks to start, implementing these solutions. So there is another question which talks about, is there a way to get in touch with us for the POC? Yes, I mean, we are opening up this free POC opportunity for everyone who is on the call today, because we understand that in this difficult time, in this remote working environment, every organization would want to simplify their operations and they would want to try out such a thing. So yeah, we'll be more than happy to provide a free POC. We will get in touch with you. You can just mention in the comment if you are interested, and we'll get in touch with you. So there's one more question. If there is a change in the company processes, will it be a manual process to update the chatbot response? This is a great question, I would say. So, we've noticed. Sorry. Yeah, let me answer the question. So we've noticed that chatbot not only helps in automating all of this stuff, but it also helps you in the change management process. So let's say today I've got an in-house HR application that I want to shift to Oracle. So people don't need to go through the learning curve of how the new HR application would work or how the new processes would work. If I say I want to apply for a leave for next Thursday, the chatbot will automatically understand that the leave request needs to be raised for next Thursday, whichever the date is, and it will raise it in the backend system. So whenever we change our processes or whenever we change our I would say the policies, it does not require to be manually updated in the chatbot. The chatbot, as I said, is just the front end. So if there is any policy change in your HR application, the chatbot will automatically pick that up. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, so I added my email to the screen. I assume you can all see that. So certainly feel free to email me if some of you are a little webinar shy and not wanting to ask questions here right now. We again are happy to answer those one-off or one-on-one and make sure that we're able to provide you the information you're looking for. So either here or later, would love to talk with you more. We think there's so much capability with digital assistants, so much potential. Would love to show you more about that. Love to talk more about your specific situation and how we could help you with digital assistance.
So we've got a couple of more questions. It is about, how can we automate if there is no standard system at the back end? It's not necessarily an HR system. So I understand that. So a lot of organizations are actually transforming their backend infrastructure. So you do not need to always connect with your backend application. If you've got all your policies documented somewhere in a PDF or in Excel sheet, we can upload all the queries and all the questionnaire onto the chatbot, and the chatbot will start managing that on its own. The chatbot is intelligent enough to understand that these are new queries that we had not configured in the chatbot. So it will start.
Okay, it looks like Arpan might have had some audio issues. I'm not sure, Arpan, are you still with us? He was in the middle of answering a question, and it sounds like he went silent. So apologize for that. I don't know if we have someone else that has the questions that he was answering, or if we can get Arpan back. Does anybody else, any of our other panelists know? All right. I apologize again. We've had a few technical difficulties today. Not exactly sure what hit us this time, but very sorry about that. We do have questions that were logged in chat, and I believe from your registration, we have email addresses for everybody. So if we did not get to your question on the webinar today, we will follow up with you and make sure that your questions have been answered. And once again, please feel free to reach out either through email or you can contact us through our website, and certainly happy to talk further, show you further capabilities. However we can help you, we would be happy to do so. Is there anybody else from the panelists that has any closing remarks? Okay, we thank you for your time today and look forward to speaking with you in the future.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.